Hi, Divine Feminines. Today we're going to do a sort of in-depth energy check-in on both of you. I feel there's been quite a shift here. And I'd like to see where we are. I shuffled my decks and the King of Hearts or Cups fell out in this deck right here while I was shuffling. Starfish, infinite possibilities. Finally some new energy. Lizard spirit, porcupine spirit, electric eel. Love it. Love it. And then we have starfish, open to infinite possibilities. Lizard, dream the world into being. Electric eel, bring your ideas to life. Porcupine, time for a beginner mind. So that's one of the Fool cards. I think there's two in that deck. I don't know. I just know how I feel the energy. But, you know, when we begin again, they're just showing me numbers. When we begin again, right, and we want to create something new, we're always colored by everything in our past. So they're saying to find this innocent part of you, take time to play, nurture your inner child, live with a childlike sense of wonder. I've been going through this process of unearthing and examining my childhood trauma and how it kind of shapes who I am. And it's very, very exhausting, invigorating, interesting. It's like stirring up the deepest waters. So he has flow, find an easier path forward, surrender the outcome. So often when we have a lot of trauma, I don't think I've ever had this card, but look how beautiful that is. Gentleness. Be kind to yourself and others. Honor your gentleness. Speak words of love. I may have had it, but it seems like a really nice energy. Often when we stir up those really deep waters, it feels very uncomfortable. Healer. You get irritated with everything. It's because you don't have your defense mechanisms up and your coping mechanisms in place, and it's liberating and challenging. You have powerful healing gifts. Have faith in your ability to stay true to your path as a healer. So I think I'm going to draw 3 of these for each here. Love, love, love the electric eel with the gentleness. It kind of really encapsulates this feeling of being vulnerable and yet feeling very alive. It's giving me, the body's crazy sometimes. It's giving me, like, I've never said this, goosebumps in my sacral chakra. All right, you have 2-2 false twin flame, intense change. So there's messages around that. 2-2 spiritual awakening, shift or be shifted. 8-8 honor your agreement. They were pointing out the numbers up here. They did want me to kind of point out 2-4, 3-8, 4-8, 5-9. Okay. He has 6-6 clearing karma, kundalini activation, 4-4 twin flame facilitator, expansive growth, 4-4 trust. I think we haven't had this card. Beautiful. Ask, listen, and allow. 6-6 beyond illusion, change your perception. 7-7 healing separation, go within. 7-7 healing. That's crazy because we each got a double. Mystical messages, follow the signs. And 8-8 one with self-blossoming. Bottom of the deck, we're going to have 11-11 I am enough, let go of expectations. So you have 2-2. He has 4-4. In between you is 7-7. And then we have 6-6-8 and 11-11 on the bottom of the deck. So wow. I do feel you will be assisted by another energy in your energy field. I don't personally believe in false twin flames. However that works for you, however you see that. What I see is that when twins get very close in frequency, it often draws in someone very much like their twin to be like a karmic facilitator or whatever. I don't know. I feel like he's wishing. I've been getting this wishing energy for a while now. You want me to turn the deck around? Okay. So let us see what you have. Hierophant, 8 of Cups reversed, 3 of Cups, Sun, Queen of Wands, 3 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups, King of Cups, Temperance, 5 of Cups. I would have liked this reading much better the other way. 4 of Pentacles. I'm kind of saying that's on purpose. It's because you're really having this unguarding process. There's an unguarding process happening here where you're going back over, it's like false fears, false evidence appearing real. That's what they want me to say. Okay. So you have attachment, blossoming abundance, strategy. Things you're doing that are really stopping you from just living this full expression of yourself, living this full expression of your life. It's no kind of coincidence, I don't think, that the King of Cups fell out here in the middle with the 3 of Cups. These are very deep internal workings here, I feel. Yes, that's a lot of energy right there. I'm going to use this deck for him. If I don't put a card down right away, it's because there's something on it I need to put a crystal on top of. There's this magnetic feeling of being drawn back together here. And it's almost like a faded feeling. Chariot reversed, Knight of Pentacles, 7 of Cups, 9 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles. Very interesting. You had the 6 of Cups. King of Swords, Empress, 4 of Swords, Magician, King of Wands. Ace of Swords, King of Pentacles, Hangman. Look, you have 8 of Cups and he has 8 of Cups. Upright. So we have double 8s over here. There's a lot of competition in his mind for you. Sorry, there's going to be people talking in the hallway. I feel like he has kind of reserved his energy, pulled back his energy for a minute. So double Sun, double 8 of Cups. All tied up. Look, that's the card that fell out while I was shuffling. I will be getting energies like for the in-between of some sort. So very attracted to you. His cards are lighter than your cards. So he has this card. The appreciation card was on the bottom of the deck when I finished this one. And now he has its like sister card over here. It's like So a little while ago, there was this feeling in the readings for, I think it was for the feminine, really, that it was like the aura of the rose, the, like, being within the aura of the rose would kind of transform you. Still getting that, but now I'm getting it like, it's almost like your essence, your perfume, your aura is like around him. It's a very strong feeling. He feels very like, almost like this, like he's standing in your aura. And what I like, even though the suns both came up reversed, what I like about the anxiety card being in reverse is that I feel like he knows that's not the truth. And doing this healing work, there's 4 pentacles, 4 swords reversed, is giving you guys a lot more options in life. It's like I always say, like, everything's here. We just have to like become a match to the frequency, right? And I feel like that's happening in a way that's like, he understands that without healing certain things. So we have the 9 of Wands with this card, which always indicates the mother to me, is that he can't really give the way that he wants to give and be the king that he wants to be. So the king that he wants to be is Pentacles and Wands. The king that he is coming into this right now as is Swords. So remember, I always tell you, and then you're seeing him as the King of Cups, reversed, right? Withholding his love and emotion. So he's seeing you as a very strong Queen of Pentacles, Empress. And he doesn't want to come to you as this Knight of Pentacles energy. It's like something about the way you see him. He sees you seeing him in this way of like beauty and specialness. And that may be because you were able to see yourself in him that way. Like, I get that double mirroring all over this. Like, I've been getting it for about 3 days. And that may be why this twin flame facilitator comes in, to move you beyond any kind of illusion of separation, right? So we all are beautiful and special in our own unique frequency, right? But no one is more special than anyone else, regardless of anything that you possess or seem to possess or exhibit. I will say, I think this is the most difficult of spiritual aspect to embody, is to understand. Like, we can say it all day long. We can say, yeah, everyone is equal. We're all energy. But the truth is, our ego really wants to be special. It's a very, very, very challenging to let go of that, to let go of what you think makes you special. So like I said, I'm undergoing this process of unearthing like trauma from like my first 3 years of life. And believe it or not, it's those things that happened, it is the first 7, but it's usually more like the first 3, where you were beginning to assign meanings to things is those meanings that literally color like everything else. And I say color, I mean, things are happening every single day in your world, in this relationship, in your life, in your job, in your family, in your friends, and everything. Money. And we make that mean all of these things about us. And those things come from when we are very small. And so, in a lot of ways, for me, I don't know why they're bringing this out. They're showing me that there's like kids on this Three of Pentacles. It's a family, right? It's a family, and in a lot of ways, the family that you come into this life with, you incarnate with here, is this setting for your wounding, right? So we have to have wounding. It doesn't matter how bad or how good it was. It's such a weird thing to say, because one person could have trauma from like the most benign circumstances, and another person could be in just the worst conditions you could imagine, and they might not get as severely traumatized. And it's so strange to say that, because we really want to believe on this gradient scale of good to bad, but really it has to do with the fact that you have to form these core wounds in your childhood to form your ego, to form a personality, to form your identity. Like I said, I'm not a psychologist, but we have a lot of sun and moon stuff here. We have no moon, but I see it here in the Temperance, right? And I see we've gone through a lot of this moon energy where it wants us to like wake up to the truth of our like magician, Queen of Wands, King of Wands energy, right? So on the end of both of these, we have counterparts in reverse, Queen and King of Wands. And that's a super creative, very psychic, very spiritual, and yet also quite embodied energy. And the sun is the truth and the light, and the opposite of the shadow, right? So they're saying we're moving on now. Okay, we're moving on now. They really want to say you're moving beyond strategy, right? This is the movement beyond strategy. The strategy is what keeps you safe. And there's going to be a lot of spiritual awakening and karma clearing and releasing of things to come here. They're just saying it will be a very intense summer. Orphaned. Happy. Clean it up. Peace. Yes. I love this. I love this a lot. There's parts of your, oh, look at that. The ending is peace with soulmates. This is a card I talked about a little while ago. And this telescope seems to be important. So we have Observer, why, the Fates. You're going to find out exactly what all of this kind of means. And look, he's looking at the moon. Actually, it may be the only moon on all these cards here. Oh, well, except this big one. Your dreams may play a role. Your subconscious is definitely going to play a role. We've had this fox playing a role, and the fox is sleeping on the moon. A lot of, what we would call shape-shifting, trickster, or people-pleasing. All of the exact same thing. Now, trickster, right, has a different connotation than shape-shifting, than people pleasing. But really what it is about having to change yourself in order to feel like you belong, like you are part of this community, this family, this environment. And this orphaned card, you know, has a big, like a red circle around it. And there's a lot in the lungs about this grief that trauma causes you to feel so alone and so, we have the 5 of, this is a very similar energy here. Just, there's such a strong, they're going so far as to say it's the strongest energy that we possess around survival, that we belong, that we fit in, that we're cherished in this community, in this family, in our tribe, whatever it is. At one point in our evolution, it was really, really real. Is it real now? In some ways, it still can be, right? As a child, you must have affection and love and interaction and touching. Even for an adult, it's very, it weighs heavily in the equation of health and mental health, emotional health, physical health. These things are things we have to have, right? So they're giving me this scenario here, right? Where you probably have heard it before. We have the 8 here, where we abandon our inner child, which represents our feelings and our subconscious, in order to gain connection with other people, with our tribe, with our family, with our community, with someone who will take care of us. And this is a normal thing for people to do. In fact, I would, like, they're saying everyone, basically, has that separation between the inner child and, like, the logical mind. And it is the inner child, it is the feelings, it is the subconscious that does the healing wholeness work, like the reintegration of self when it's been split into pieces. When we're looking to become our authentic expression of ourself, that's the inner child, that's our feelings. We've been taught to kind of go up into our head and make logical sense, but that will never, you will never understand the inner child, the feelings, the subconscious realm through your logical brain, okay? So there are blocks here that have been missing. There are pieces that have been put aside, hidden, and it is time for us to, right, finish this symphony, to bring them back, to put them back into the pieces where they're missing, and to restore this happiness that is like a natural, you know, part of you. And there is, you know, these are beautiful cards here, right? I will say, so often, I remember doing this myself for so long. It was the difference between being unhealed and starting the healing process, is that I would think, well, what can I improve about me to feel that love that I desire to feel that connection, to have someone love me the way that I feel love. And it never works that way. Doing things to get love it is the opposite of what actually has to happen to feel that authentic love. Because what has to happen is that, and so often when I work with people and talk with people, do readings and do, coaching, it's, you're never going to heal or feel when you're thinking something's wrong out here. It's never out here. It's very vulnerable work, okay? The only thing you're seeing in reflection, and so this is extremely true with your twin, it's a direct mirror. It's a direct mirror. It's the most direct mirror you can see. It will never fix if you're like, this is what's wrong with them, I need to fix them, it will only fix, anything will only fix when you're changing the energy that's inside you and cleaning it up. And it is through that process that we come to peace in ourselves. About all of this was to learn to love ourselves. They're showing me like a crystal, but it's like looking through it and seeing the light is split kind of into a prism. We kind of look through the lens and we separate things, and that creates this illusion, right? And it's like we believe that love is separated from, it's like love is something where we have to get, and we're getting it, and we're being and doing things so we can just get this glimpse of like feeling it for a moment. And they're wanting to point out, this is not love, right? This is the way we've been conditioned to believe that love is, that we love someone and then we're in a relationship and they do something or you do something and then you take your love away or they take their love away, and it's kind of a force that we use to control. And never said that to me. They're like, you can do a better job at explaining this. That may be my projection and not spirit, but it feels like spirit. They're saying be clearer. That's what they mean. Okay. What love is the fabric of feeling. It's the feeling fabric. It's literally like what your incarnated soul attaches with. And yes, they're saying it is your incarnated soul, but we want to make it relevant to the third dimension, which is what we're trying to embody here. This is the journey, right? The journey is to, they're showing me a bunch of furniture, and then it has a bunch of like covers on it, and they take the covers off. There's a bunch of dust, and this is the high heart, right? The high heart is where we live in love. Now, they're saying that is quite a lofty goal, vision for you to have, right? To live in love requires you to drop all judgment of basically everything. And this may be too grand a scope for many people, most people. That's why we have twin flame here now. It's because when the twin flame anchors this unconditional love of non-judgment, it will be the kind of a ballast? I don't think that's what you mean. An anchor point to kind of tie all of the others to this realm, like to allow that vibration to become the new frequency. And they're bringing up a blanket. Let's get some of these. That's a very beautiful explanation, I must say. But like they're saying, blankets are very near and dear to many of you. And in a lot of ways, love is energetically like a blanket. I don't know what this means. Okay. It's like a blanket of light. They're bringing up the prism again. I don't know where they're going. If I called, would you answer? Two joining together. Have you forgotten me? Mars. Mars does seem to be playing an important role. Mars is going into Aries. I'm not sure. Mars is going into something new. Saturn, still in Pisces. Seeing signs. Look at moon energy. Coins. Platinum. Lover above vibration. Do you ever wonder if this is real? I doubt it sometimes. Sometimes I think you're talking to me. Like attracts like, knows your twin flames. Something is telling me to talk to you. I know I treated you badly. I feel anxious when I think about contacting you. I'm too proud to say sorry. Sacred geometry. This is intense. I still fantasize. Fairies, gold. And thank you for letting me have my space. So two joining together. Masterminding intellectual power makes each 10 times more powerful. Join together with like-minded people. And I think even though this says intellectual on it, I think it's the joining of the grid, which I haven't talked about the grid in, I don't know, months. I don't feel like. The grid is what's made up of all of the rings joining. Like there's energy between each twin flame ring. Focused red warrior energy used in battle, passion of creation. Discipline of the cosmic father. Now to work in focused, efficient, rigid manner. The moon does not create its own light, but reflects sunlight. A shadow world of deep emotions and hidden feelings. The alchemy of metal. Something. Into currency and value. Cool, smooth, heavy, forged, enduring, loud. Platinum, lever above 500 on the scale of emotions is the place where we experience the best life, including manifesting all that is good. And I think that, I wrote these a long time ago. I would almost say manifesting all that is authentic or true. Do you ever wonder if this is real? I doubt it sometimes. Sometimes I think you're talking to me, like attracts like, knows your twin flames. Something's telling me to talk to you. I know I treated you badly. I'm too proud to say sorry. Something is telling him to talk to you and he's not doing it. So we're going to figure out why that is. Because I see we have the 8 of Wands. We have the Ace of Swords. I think we have the King of Swords in reverse. I'll reverse. Magician in reverse. We have Chariot reversed. And There's something here important about the moon energy. I feel that very strongly. There's something hidden in the moon energy. And part of it is he's had some really big energy to heal. Now, to have rose pink and the crystal blue, and then silver and the hot pink, these energies are very, there's a lot of movement in them. This one even says quickening. This one says acceleration and motivation. You know, this is a channeling card. And then we have a flourishing card. You know, these aren't verbs. He wants to move. There is something drawing him forward, and yet his anxiety, the separation with the inner child, seems to be holding him back. And yet, he knows there is a kind of bond here that's like what he gives to it, he will get back out of it. I think that's what he's realized in a lot of ways. It's that he has to admit to himself, and then ultimately to you, that he really only hurts himself. He really only hurt himself. He hurts other people because he himself is hurt, and he gets what he gives. And this is an undeniable fact to him. He's understood here that where he would play a victim and he would, I almost get like a shell game. I think part of you wouldn't know what you were going to get with him, and it would be very unpredictable. I think you're going to find that that changes pretty dramatically because of this recognition and this maturity that he's going through. Which, if he already is like mature in age, it seems like a weird thing to say, but a lot of people, almost everyone, gets mature in age and doesn't actually mature their inner child, doesn't do the work around it. So you see attraction, which is a very much another card that is like this card, and the other card that came up, and past life relationship. And that is, it's like this attraction. Okay, so I feel like this has been coming up on the feminine side quite a bit for a little while. Where I think one of the coping mechanisms you have been trying to kind of use to let go emotionally is like, even though logically this doesn't really make sense, and logically you probably wouldn't say this, but I feel on the emotional connection, there's something saying like, I'm really not maybe externally or somehow the best he could do. I think there's a part of you that still has a little bit of low self-esteem around certain aspects of this relationship, even if you have so much more to offer to him than he does to you. However you see that, whatever the balance is, right? There's this balance coming up, is that I think you've talked yourself into a belief that maybe he just isn't that attracted to maybe there are better people for him somehow. Now, that may or may not apply to you, but I think that is a coping mechanism of this. It's like the remnants, you know, like they're giving me a wine bottle, but like, and like an old bottle of wine, down in the bottom, there may be some, like, I don't know what they call them. I think there's a word for it. Sediment, they're telling me, is what they're looking for. There may be sediment down there, and this sediment is like, you may have done a whole lot of healing, and you may feeling like a lot of self-love, but there's sediment down kind of in the bottom of your heart space that is like still needs to be cleaned up. They're saying about, it's a limiting belief probably from your mother. Like, if you had a mother where it was like you were never kind of the ideal, you were never really good enough, she wanted you to whatever, I'll just use my own example, like be a cheerleader, and you wanted to be an artist, and there was this like idealized version of how a child should act or be or look, or what they should do or how they should excel, and you didn't do that. It still feels like there's remnants there in the heart space. Oof, that was a big old energy to get out. Okay, so he has a very, very strong desire to be a better masculine, to be a better person, to get to the bottom. They keep showing me bottom, the bottom of the heart, the bottom of the bottle, the bottom. He may well drink to try to get to the bottom of it all, and he may have even hit rock bottom for some of your masculines. They do that, you know. I see that very soon there's going to be an expression here. This expression, it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie, this is a big expression. It probably will trigger you, and even though it is very triggering to both of you, I actually see that both of you may not run away like usual, or whoever runs away or is triggered. It may be that you are able to hold this frequency for a lot longer, because there are messages coming through here that are like soul level messages. This isn't like, I don't think he's going to say them in the language you hope he will, but this language is going to be true to him, and it's going to be from his inner child. And that part of it really scares him, because now I don't think many DMs would use any words like this, okay? But what they would kind of say is, I don't know why, but I know that I trust you. And that's scary to me. Trust is the big, big thing coming up here. And I'm going to tell you that it's his inner child that's drawing him forward. And his inner child doesn't want to be in this pain anymore. His inner child it's like, our brain wants to make it a scenario, like our intellectual property wants to make it a scenario, like our inner teenager acted out and our little child did this. We call it an inner child, but it's not a child. It's us. It's our feelings. It's just another like kind of scope of how we have programmed ourselves to believe that adults don't act from their feelings. Adults don't, rebel. Adults don't do this. We have to like, literally, they're saying to connect to our feelings, a lot of us have to use substances. We have to like get out of our mind, right? Literally, like the definition of crazy is like losing your mind. And that's in a lot of, now, most feminines have done work, and that's not our realm anymore, right? We don't have to do that. We can connect to our feelings more, but most of the rest of the world doesn't do that. And they're bringing this up because he may have been one of those people. More often than not, the masculine has a very severe escape habit of some sort. Could be substances, could be other things, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. But he doesn't want to escape this because his inner child like literally feels connected. And do you see all the butterflies at the bottom of that? He wants to change. the air finally came up, so I know I'm getting to it. And like, this is what it comes to. You saying, I don't really feel like I can trust you because you have so many red flags. And him saying, tell me what I have to do for you to give this a chance. Now, that's a very, very dramatic statement here. Is that going to happen to everybody listening to this reading? No, probably not. But what I see in the collective is that this strong work on yourself, you're choosing to go through more awakening. Like, I feel like this is a choice. And you're like, you know, F it. I want to wake up more. I want to trust myself. And it is you trusting yourself, trusting your inner child, and learning to trust your feelings. And this may have been a very challenging road to get here. Like, I feel like this opening to this new, remember I keep talking about, you get to choose to go on the path or to go up the hill. This may have been a extreme opening to this hill, and you may have been like, that's the worst decision I ever made. And you may be like trying to get out of it. And for a lot of you, I don't think you can. Whew. Okay. Thank God. This is like, thank God this reading needed to come through so strongly. So it isn't then you trusting yourself that you help him to trust himself. And there may be very dramatic differences between you two. Those differences may have even intensified for some of your situations. And it doesn't even matter. Like, I think what mattered, I think it mattered to him a lot before. And it doesn't even matter now. Because it's just like, when you know something, you know something. It's like, you can't deny that that's the sun. You can't deny that the freaking sun is lighting up my heart, right? How long are you going to sit in that? You're not going to sit in that forever. Anything else, Spirit? It's like, yes, there are wounds that he has to address here that aren't from you. That there are wounds here that will need to be addressed for him. And part of the problem for him, it seems to be that he doesn't know. I think he's shut out so much of his memories, or disassociated, or whatever you do when there's a lot of trauma. If they had a lot of trauma, I think he's afraid of facing like what even is there. If there was a lot of trauma, he could have created a lot of trauma also, because that's the normal thing, right? That's our programming. We're doing what we think is the normal thing. You know, as you become a compassionate, awakened human being, that's the undeniable truth, is you can see somebody operating in a very hurt manner very easily. And you can have compassion for them, and it doesn't necessarily always take away all of the pain that they inflicted on you. And people will be like, that's a lack of boundaries, and it's not necessarily a lack of boundaries. What it is you're just at a very high vibration, but parts of you are still trapped in those lower frequencies. And that's a weird thing for people to understand, because they're like, no, it's just one frequency. It's not just one frequency. They're saying like the sediment, there is sediment there. The sediment will be triggered. Even if you choose to be a conscious manifestor, a conscious creator, it's not always possible. It is always possible, but it doesn't always happen all at once, right? I said something like this recently where it's like, you can't when people wake up all at once, it's not a good thing for their Kundalini. It gets pretty, you know, David Hawkins talks about this a lot in his books. Like, he went through a period of ecstatic spirituality where if your Kundalini just all awakens all at once, and when you get to certain frequencies, it's like the joy is just overwhelming and you kind of lose your mind, right? Which they talked about before here. Okay, so let's get some cards about what should we do here. I love this electric eel spirit because I feel like he's finally, see, look at, expect powerful change and you're very close to achieving your goal. I feel like he's finally, even though the cards didn't really say movement, I get this overwhelming energy where he just can't hold it back any longer. Look at, I can't take it anymore. And this is going to be like, I feel like the electric eel is just a very spontaneous tower energy, right? It's just like, and with the movement of Mars, that makes a lot of sense. Communication is key. Nothing will come of the situation. I think they got this yesterday. It's time to take action. Do you see? Your dreams need a practical plan. A fiery climax approaches. So confident communication is key for you. Take time to breathe out. They do want to emphasize here for you that take the time that you need. If he says something, if there's motion, if he sends you something, if there's some kind of sign that comes through, like, don't rush. Allow yourself the time. If there's a trigger, work through the trigger. This is very important. Don't react. Take the time to respond. Okay? We're heading here into Gemini season soon. Grandparent. Thankful. It's okay to be different. Relax, everything's okay. You are, first of all, there's a lot of energy around, a lot of spirit, a lot of ancestors, a lot of ascended masters right now. They're very close. They will help you if you want. And gratitude practice will assist you staying in a high frequency. You can do this any way that you want to do it. You have Green Tara, start delegating. He has Mother Earth, so 2 Mother Earth cards really, and then go outside. So, ooh, Sacred Space. I don't think I've ever had this card come out, maybe once, but create an altar or visit a power place to connect with the divine. Beautiful. I feel like for some of you, there's going to be a resolution of a money issue here. I don't know why I feel that. Let's try to figure it out. Feels like there's a strong resolution to something wanting to come through. And you really grounding your energy and being in gratitude will help facilitate this. I don't know why. Why, Spirit? And this, one of the traumatic things that's being resolved, healed, brought to fullness, wholeness, is this idea that you have to do everything yourself. Spirit whisperer, divine guidance, higher knowing. Rainbow prince. Compensation, perseverance. The word lord, communication, praise. Dishonesty, interesting. Assistance, control. The dragon duel. Inner conflict, morality. Conscious choice, which is kind of something I was just talking about. Spirit, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure it out. There's this feeling here of trust, trusting the way, trusting the path. No. Fill up your well. Retreat, rest, and refuel. Oh, I love this card. Mirror. Sisterhood of the Rose. You are already doing it. Unbound. Look at the crumbling, which is that tower energy I was talking about. And then I'm Rama on behind that. What are you being called to journey to? You have to trust the crumbling. You have to trust the journey, and you have to trust the path. And you have to let go of what the soul patterns that you don't need anymore. And this is, I guess, helping you to unlearn some soul patterns. It may be female energies, because I see a lot of female energy here. The grandmother spirit is again here, and then the sisterhood of the rose. Beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher, and mirror. You may need to, your soul mate may be a feminine energy, the twin flame catalyst. Now, I don't think I've ever said that before, because for me it's always been a masculine energy, but this may be a feminine energy. You may need to dismantle energies within the feminine, like, kind of framework that you have. Competition, things like that. This is stop overthinking, keep facing your true north. It may be also, like, you know, I hate boundaries, but it may also have to do with boundaries. It may have to do with speaking your truth and not kind of placating, being the shapeshifter, being the trickster. It may have to do with that. Like, even her dress here, it's kind of like an opalescent dress, and it's like, it's time to stop being what other people want you to be. And it's time to start being who you actually are. So let's get advice. Abundance. Like I said, there's a money issue here. Has to do with, that's beautiful. Has to do with your emotional healing. And look at creativity. So we have that King, Queen of Wands energy with manifestation and healthy boundaries. I think the more you have this courage, I know these are separated, but I think you're kind of simultaneously working on things here. You're just like a step ahead or two. There is abundance here for you in this, learning this master lesson. And again, we have the cycles, which is that choosing the harder road. You're choosing a harder road here. Now, is it harder? Because no, it's not harder, but you want to expand, and expansion is uncomfortable at times. This is such a weird feeling. It's because I feel like this actually started a long time ago, but now it's like really here. You have faith, humanity, and benevolence. Stay calm. Trust, again, that word, the good in yourself and others. See the light in the world. So the sun, he has the divine masculine. And actually, this is the divine masculine and feminine card. And underneath that is the, Isis and Horus are the two most powerful cards in this deck. So you have life force and inner strength. Express your driving passion. Sensual and sexual powers are increased. Move back to wholeness. Right? Recognize you have the power. So you're becoming empowered through healing. Here it is soul expansion, which is what you want, and trusting heaven. You know, you've asked for soul expansion, emotional healing, wholeness, and this is your spirit, your soul leading you to it. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connection between all things. You are safe. Angels stand close. Angels are close to you. Surrender your concerns and allow a miracle to occur. Okay. Obviously, I always have to add, you know, we have to be responsible to our life and the consequences of our actions. Nobody can undo those for you. So I also believe it's all an illusion, but the illusion has, you know, in the 3D has consequences we have to live with. Okay, you have Earth and Air Dragon. He has Lilac Fire Dragon. Wow, Golden Christed Dragon. Beautiful. Bottom of the deck is the Orange and Gold Arc Dragon from Arcturus. So, represents a perfect balance of heaven and earth. Stay balanced. Ground your visions. Yes, manifest your hopes and dreams. I love it. He has transmutes to the power of divine love. Open up to transcendent love and enlightenment. Purity of heart brings peace, hope, and joy. So that word peace again. And then Golden Christed Dragon brings a higher love so that you embody the Christ light. Absorb the Christ light. You are protected. Expand your heart and remain fifth dimensional. We have opens you to knowledge for the new golden age. How gorgeous is that? Carry the energy of the future and be a guiding light. So as I said, we are anchoring this new energy into the grid. Very, very powerful awakening energy. And which a lot of that, you know, I'm not really one to talk about the powers of darkness and all of this, but a lot of that, I had such an insight, like personally around that recently. I can't even remember what it was, but it was so crazy. You know, it's like, literally darkness is just being asleep to your own light, I think. It's literally what I think it is. And your own value and your own beauty and your own creative force in this world, which again, it's no more special than anybody else's. We're all just here being these energies. So let's get messages. Secret admirer. Someone has deeper feelings for you than they are letting on. Acceptance is the key to inner peace. Again, that word. At times we must accept things as they are. There's no point trying to change that which is beyond our control. Sexual union. So 2 cards that he's very much thinking of being close to your body. Honor the place of one another where you are one eternal soul, for there you'll find true bliss. Healing. Imagine yourself and your beloved surrounded by light. Feel your relationship being healed at this very moment. And then bottom of the deck is reflection, my beloved, playfulness, and wait. I don't think you're gonna have to wait that much longer, but I say that. Sometimes I've said that, and it has been longer for me. So, you know, every journey is different and beautiful in its own way, and it all happens in perfect timing, just as it's supposed to. I feel so, so strongly that the feminine's energy is just going through this massive expansion. Do I think it's like super dramatic? No, not necessarily. I don't necessarily think it's like you're gonna quit your job and start wearing different clothes and move to another country or something like that. I think the way that you see the world, I'll get a couple of these cards because I feel like it is going to be dramatically different, and you're going to have a lot more joy just in your life with yourself. Starfish, shark, and butterfly. Oh man. Tiger, egg, bee, crow. We've had crow and bear. I think when he starts turning his energy towards you, it's gonna feel like the most intense energy you've ever felt in your life. And it may freak you out a little bit. I felt this spiritual energy. It's like the timing is just so correct. The timing is so right. The transformation is so pure and complete and beautiful. And there's such, it's like they're showing me that the honey energy of like, it's just so divinely pure in the way that it is. And you're going to have to come into right alignment with that energy. And they're saying, take your time. There's a rush. I think before you might have felt very rushed because you might have felt like, oh, this is slipping away, and it may have been, but now I think that's going to be very different. So I hope this helped you. Oh, that was a long reading. Okay, bye for now.